Introduce our panelists first. From HPE, we have the country leader for hybrid cloud and customer success lifetime value, Enar Marquez. From Palo Alto, he heads the technical solutions, Mr. Jobert. From Dell Technologies, we have Roshan Kumar, the Director for Systems Engineering, AI Data Management, and Edge for APJ and Greater China markets. From Fortinet, we have the Country Manager for Fortinet Philippines, Mr. Alan Reyes. From Huawei, we have Arnie. Let's see Arnie.
He has a flight.
Okay.
He left already.
From iBoss, we have Simon Iparillo, the Senior Vice President, handling EMEA and EPJ markets. And from H3C, we have Bob Lee, the Product Director of HPC Technologies Philippines. And from Delania, we have Mr. Jude Canaveran, Vice President for CM Market. Good afternoon, gentlemen, and allow me to proceed now to introduce our media reporters. We have from the Boss Capital, also representing Manila Standard, Ram Christian Agustin, if you could just raise and wave your hand. Rafi Aye from Daily Tribune. We also have Attorney Melvin Kalimag from News Bites. Peter Paul Duran representing Manila Standard. JV Fernandez of Philippine Star. Mark Nalan Macanas of Tectonas. Joel Peñarok of Travel and Check, also representing News Bites. Robert Reyes or Bob Reyes from Manila Bulletin and the Filipino Tech Explainer. Martin Salazar of Backend News and John Eli Gonzalo of Daily Tribune. Magandang hapon sa inyong lahat. Okay, so that basically opens the floor for Q&A. I'd like to ask any of our reporters who'd like to throw in the first question. Go ahead, Martin.
Well, first of all, I would like to thank the press, the media, for coming to this event again. And I hope that you would spend time to ask as many questions as possible to the respective panelists. Okay, we all know how interesting the AI topic now. Okay, so again, thank you, and please don't be shy.
Sir, they've been doing their assignment. A lot of them did exclusive interviews already.
Okay.
And a lot of articles.
So feel free to do a one-on-one interview with all of the speakers and the vendors.
All right, take it away, Marlon.
The First Lady of the Press.
There was this news recently about the AI hype not delivering on our desired ROI. What is for you as business leaders, what is the ideal time frame for organizations to realize the ROI for their AI investments?
Yes.
It's addressed to
Anyone from our panelists, go ahead.
let me answer that question. I think currently the one that is investing a lot of NVIDIA GPU servers are the hyperscaler. Okay, and as what everybody is saying, these people are really burning a lot of cash. Okay, they are really preparing for the future, and probably they have a view of what's gonna happen in the future. But definitely, I think right now there's very little ROI. I think most of the hyperscaler are losing money, but they're investing hundreds of thousands of NVIDIA, 500,000. So they're really investing a lot. They want to be the leader in this AI race. Yeah. Anyway, anyone wants to add?
Sir,
Go ahead,
when you say hyperscalers, you mean
These are the Amazon, the Google, the Microsoft, the X, all those big companies. Yeah.
Okay.
In fact, in Singapore, I know for one that NVIDIA has sold a lot of H100 and H200 NVIDIA server. So there's a lot of hyperscaler that are being set up in Singapore and also in Malaysia. Unfortunately, Philippines is still a bit behind. Okay, we have a few, but compared to probably Singapore, we're just probably less than 5%. Yeah. Yeah, very small. But we can easily catch up. No problem. I don't think. I think we can always catch up. Anyone?
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So, from an HPE perspective, right, we see very targeted, right, and very prudent investment in AI in the Philippines, especially in the enterprises, right. Of course, if you take a look at the big bang investments having NVIDIA solutions with multiple servers and so on and so forth, that is something that the industry is trying to be very cautious on. But in terms of, say, for example, use case of AI from a co-pilot perspective, right, going towards having end user focused type of investments, they're all really going to that space, right? Because it really helps your organization be more efficient, be more have better customer service with their customers. Okay, so that is what we are seeing right now from an industry perspective. The second part, obviously, is a lot of our organizations are investing on getting their data in order, because that is the base layer for good AI, right? If you have the right data ready, right, and ready to be consumed, then they can do the inferencing part, the RAG part, right, and the tuning part shortly after. Okay. So as HPE, we're preparing for that space, right? We are looking at it, helping them with the prudent investment, right, on the end use, on the front end part, right, on the customer service part, but also helping the customers prepare their data for better Gen AI consumption later on. Especially that the focus for AI is obviously security, right, and data privacy. Okay, so thank you.
Any follow-up question? Yes, go ahead, Jamie.
Sir, after talking to some of you in some breakout sessions, I think one question that the Philippines usually has is, like, what industry do you think will feel the immediate benefits of AI in the Philippines here? Many are saying it's the BPO industry, because that's the the doom and gloom is happening there with AI voice and whatnot. If you could shed some more light on that, and it actually connects with the ROI perspective also. So, address to anyone.
So, you said doom and gloom, and you referred to the the outsourcing industry or the back office, right? The conversation we are having with these companies, right, is that AI is going to help those companies from a time to resolve perspective, right? So people are thinking that because of AI, if we have 5,000 staff, right, it's going to reduce to 1,000 or whatever. But the point is, if the math is, if 5,000 becomes 2,500 and it's going to be co-piloted with AI, the ROI, what they can bill to their end customer, is more money what they would have made with 5,000.
I have a follow-up question. Any prediction for the contact center at the Philippines?
No, so that's what I'm saying. So we are working. I'm coming from the India market background, right? There it's knowledge workers and all the contact centers. We are seeing the study what we have done. If the contact center is AI enabled, that means there is a human agent who is supported by a machine, right? The productivity is like 30x, and the time to resolve a ticket is like again 30x. So they are able to bill their end customers better. So it is enabling that industry. Now, yes, did we reduce 5,000 contact center employees to 2,500? Yes, right. But then also those companies are slicing and dicing that 5,000 people, moving the better ones to more knowledgeable jobs, right, up in the chain, right. So there is ROI.
Right. Thank you. Sir Alan, I have a
Just to follow up on ROI and going towards the call center again. I think there's a high ROI with regards to the AI chatbots. Just imagine how efficient it is now that probably you're receiving calls from AI chatbots now. And probably for those companies, executing those AI chatbot calling, it would cost them so much less than having hundreds or thousands of people calling. Okay, so I think the ROI for hyperscaler probably would take a longer time, but ROI for enterprise and in the usage probably has a better ROI. Yeah, that's what my
Thank you, sir. Sir, I have a question. How effective is AI in predicting new threats?
Alright, so pitch in lang ako dun sa ROI.
Alright.
So we always think of ROI as revenue coming in. But in the perspective of cybersecurity, look at it, that the ROI may come into the perspective of risk mitigation, of risk management. It's like the cost of not having it, the cost of not having this layer of AI. Sa cybersecurity kasi, what we do is that we enhance the capability of the enterprise to be able to respond and protect themselves better. So if you will be able to quantify that risk, then you can say that there is ROI in that. Sorry, what was the second question?
Yeah, how effective is AI in predicting and identifying new cyber threats?
Okay, so it's very effective. In the study that we have with 40 guards, we have actually measured it in terms of mean time to detect and mean time to respond. Okay, so mean time to detect simply means that when a threat comes into your system, how long will you be able to detect it? So from the study that we have, from as long as 21 days, right? From as long as 21 days, when a threat comes into your system, previously it will take 21 days for you to be able to detect it. Now we can do that in less than 1 hour and even in minutes. And also, the mean time to respond simply means that when you have the threat, how long can you respond to it? So again, from days to minutes. So these are real use cases. There are so many use cases that AI can bring. But the bottom line is, how does it help my operations?
Thank you. Go ahead, Rafi.
Hi, Rafi. I'm from the Daily Tribune. Sirs, one of the reasons raised by ICT experts and even the government on the low adoption of AI among organizations here in the country is the skills gap for workforce. Please tell us your advice on how to improve this issue, and does a change in curriculum on the current education system is needed now? Thanks.
I think anybody can answer that. Go ahead. Don't be shy. Yes,
So
go ahead.
if you look at it from a Singapore perspective, right? I live there. And yesterday our motivation speaker spoke about this, how they are teaching even the old people AI. Right? When we say what are they teaching them? They're teaching them to use AI, right? Not go and develop large language models, right? So in every country, as we see, first focus of the government is sovereign AI, okay? Whereas AI built for the nation by the people, right? For that, they are investing in higher education. I know there's some universities also in this event. So the government is cautiously focusing on investing in higher education, HPC and AI related courses. And then the other thing is from the school, from school and college perspective, they are coming and having partnership with people like us, Dell, Intel. We are working with universities and schools in creating sandboxes for them, and there will be parallel courses. So they are doing a regular curriculum, they are doing, let's say, learning Python and normal coding, but also industry people like Intel, Dell, Nvidia, we are also going and having classes for them. So it's a joint thing which we are doing with the government. Not started here in Philippines, but we're doing it in Indonesia, in Malaysia, and Singapore, obviously, with the universities.
Great advice. Thank you. Okay.
Yeah, so if I may, right, in HPE our experience here is actually, it's not only driven from an IT pillar, right? AI is actually driven from a line of business pillar. So what you see right now is, while there is, of course, tentative adoption, right, that's going on, but at the same time, the thing that I'm really happy about is they are adapting it from a line of business perspective. So say, for example, in manufacturing, right, they're focusing on AI, which before, right, if you take a look at the history of how we deal with technology, everything's like, go to IT, go to IT. Now, what's happening is they're doing it by themselves, and IT is actually responding to how the line of business wants to consume AI. So I think that's the positive part that I'm seeing right now. Definitely, there's a skills gap, right? In all new technology, there's going to really be a skills gap. It has to be ramped up and so on, right? But at the same time, because there's a wider perspective of not only looking at it as an IT issue, I think that's the positive side of what we were seeing.
Yeah, there's just too much hype about AI these days. The people are excited to really discover its many potential. Go ahead.
Yeah, if I may add as well, in terms of the skills gap shortage, in terms of, let's say, for example, cybersecurity, and I think we may have all heard that, it's just too hard to get an analyst, a cybersecurity analyst, because, the main reason behind the skill shortage. What I've seen every time I talk to the customers, let's say, for example, in a SOC, more often than not, they got about 5 to 10 people managing SOC. And guess what they're doing? They're doing mandated tasks, routine tasks. It's about, let's say, for example, doing 10,000 alerts or 20,000 alerts per person. So imagine the burnout, the fatigue of one analyst. And that cuts across those 10. And then what we're telling to them is that these are repetitive tasks, these are routine tasks. How can we be able to help you out? Why can't you automate it? Because these are routine tasks, these are already known threats that we could actually automate. Then let AI do their own thing. And that's where we're trying to help bridge to our customers. Let's automate what we can automate. And then the human oversight, what we call it, the human perspective, that's the part wherein they can do threat hunting, context actualization of any specific threats. Because some of these issues or some of these threats cannot be addressed by AI, in which we need to have human people or human analysts or human oversight that take a look at with all of these threats that are coming in from a high perspective, especially for those high fidelity alerts. And that's where we're trying to bridge those skill set shortages. Let's say, for example, if these are automated, instead of you burning out 10 SOC analysts, you could actually trim it down up to 5, 10 people, or some of these people could be assigned to a different role, doing more threat hunting, doing more, I would say, more sophisticated jobs and complex jobs that AI cannot do. So that's how we're trying to address those skills from a cybersecurity perspective.
The other thing on AI, it's a general fear that it's going to replace jobs. But what AI actually does, it moves us up the ladder, right? It allows generally folks that would take a longer time to learn a skill now be able to shorten the entire skills cycle there, so that we can elevate users to do higher and higher skill level jobs. So I think AI will transform, right, as mentioned earlier on, right, not just the industry in technology. We keep talking about AI specifically to information technology, right? AI is going to impact industries, AI is going to impact multiple functions between the different industries.
Yeah, AI is expected to augment human capabilities. Now, let's talk about business revenue and portfolio. How did AI impacted or change your business roadmap and priorities? I'd like to ask Bob, was there an adjustment with so much hype about AI now? Did you change your business portfolio, and what strategies did you roll out to make sure that you are able to capitalize and capture this hype about AI?
Thank you, sir, for the pointed question. Actually, later I've also announced our strategy later in the keynote speech. HPC, for the AI-oriented strategy, we released two perspectives. One is we call it AI in all. One is AI for all. AI in all basically is to embed it, because we are HPC, we are the AI infrastructure supplier. So we embedded the AI technology into our computing and connectivity product lines. So this is to just give an example for the product for the very popular the large language modeling training data center. So based on this requirement driven, we released the new product line of the liquid cooling for the server. This dramatically lowered the power consumption. So the power utilization efficiency has lowered the rate from the normal nearly 1.5 to nearly extreme 1.1, meaning the total power consumption or of the whole data center, the ratio to the power consumption of the IT equipment is 1.1, meaning less than 10%. So less than 10% of the power consumption is coming from the IT equipment. So this is liquid cooling, the beauty of that for our AI-driven liquid cooling server. And for the switch, for the AIGC data center, we released the CPO, the cold-plated optic 800G switch. This is also to higher ultra wide the bandwidth and also lower the PoE. Also, another perspective to change our strategy is the AI for all. Also add up on the reply of the ROI. We talk about the ecosystem. So AI for all for us is we want to work together with the ecosystem partners, like technical ecosystem partner, like the global leading semiconductor technologies, Intel, AMD, Broadcom, to continuously explore the edge of the performance. We also aim to work together with the local ISV or the service providers. Like we give an example in Uzbekistan, we work with one of the local cloud service provider, Unicom, to explore the scenario-based solution to serve different industry. We also aim to work together with the local channel partners like VST to better serve the local end users. To make all of that AI in all, AI for all, to make it easy, make the data, make the AI is easier in accessible and higher the efficiency and more diversified.
Thank you. I have a question. This is one of my biggest fears actually.
Yeah, hold on. Actually, I think just to add also, to most of the big vendors, especially those in this room and in this conference, I think AI is already built in most of their products. Okay, it's all built in. Okay, or else they'll be left behind. So the AI feature of each of the product really helps the user, make it easier for everyone to use. Yeah, I think that's the beauty of AI.
It's what Jimmy has said, right? I think vendors and customers alike, let's look at AI from code to production, right? Today if you're going to build a particular solution set or a new upgrade from a current application, AI generally accelerates code to production, and that's allowed a lot of customers and vendors out there to be more competitive to address the needs in the market today.
Thank you. Yes,
so it also addresses that if you have old models, you have to upgrade to new models.
so additional revenue stream. Yes, Enar.
So actually, if you take a look at all of the vendors, to Sir Jimmy's point, right, all of us right are focusing on AI ops. Right? Why do you need AI ops? AI ops is, to Alan's point, you have to take a look at mean time to recover. Right? And mean time to recover is typically driven by event correlation. Right? We're all in different pillars in the IT industry. You have network, you have security, you have server storage, right, like database and so on, right? When you troubleshoot, what typically happens is siloed teams work together. And if siloed teams work together, it's typically going to be a a complex conversation. If you introduce AI ops having event correlation, right, like HPE what it's doing, you distill the problem and basically limit, because of AI, the possibility of where the problem is.
You compartmentalize.
You compartmentalize and you basically say, oh, based on our knowledge base for this, in this kind of a situation, it's typically going to be in the server, right? That's going to be the
then
problem.
it becomes more faster.
It becomes more faster to resolve, right? It helps operations teams. It operates business. It helps business, right? Because business, end of the day, it's net to them, right? Bring this up. If it comes down, bring this up. Now, the other side of AI is avoid problems, right? Take a look at your systems and say, maybe this thing will happen within 2 minutes or so on, right? That's where you have AI.
Predictive. Okay. Simon, your thoughts, please.
So I think at iBoss, we've heard a lot of discussion around building AI. And, I think for us, we've approached it really from our customers. The demands come from our customers. Our customers are consumers of AI, and for us, we've been driven by our customers to add into our product things like visibility and control. So certainly, just in I've got the EU to cover as well, Europe, and we've now got some regulation around how AI should be built and how it can be used. So our focus has been very much on giving that visibility, giving the controls, so that people can consume it in a safe way, and then stay compliant under some regulations as well. So.
Thank you. Go ahead. Next, Jobert.
Good afternoon. So I actually grew up with the days with next-gen firewalls, and there's sandboxes, and now AI. What is the next thing to prevent AI? Or, of course, when the good guys use AI, of course the bad guys will also use AI. What would be the rate of? Would you be able to predict the false positives and false negatives detections of AI versus AI? Because definitely it's going to be an AI race.
AI against AI. Yes.
Yeah, so thanks Eli for that question. So, well, we are all in this AI era, and the sad fact is that even our threat actors are using the same technology as ours.
Correct.
We gotta admit, we are in this era. But the thing there is that, from our perspective, right? So that's why I really push to our customers is that you have to fight. You don't go to a gunfight with a knife, right? You must practice AI with AI. And the sad fact as well is that adversaries are far more advanced than us. You gotta admit that, right? And sometimes these threat actors, they always find something to have a drill on, and we need to be always right at the same time to help clear out those threat actors. And from an AI perspective, so what we normally do is we're able to get all of these capabilities and threat actors. And from our solution is that from a machine learning in AI perspective, we're able to address some of these threat actors more than that they can, help push with us. And this is where the capability of the machine learning and deep learning capability to be able to prevent such attacks and threat actors from any customer environment.
Go ahead, Sir Alan, please.
Okay. Agree 100% to what my friend from Palo Alto said. But given that on the technology perspective, but remember that there's already technology, people, process, and technology. Ang problema natin is not just the AI coming in and doing and enabling the attackers, but and tying it up as well into the awareness and the continuous awareness and training of the people of the next generation in perspective of cybersecurity. But I personally believe for us to be able to combat it, we have to also put somehow, and the industry is not doing not too much on this, the layer of ethics on top of it. Give you an example, I know for a fact, I just could not give you all the details, but in our industry right now in cybersecurity, how do you train the next generations of cyber warriors? You train them with the cyber kill chain. Okay, so you go in training, okay, and then you find out that those people that you train turn to the dark side. Okay, and that's where we are failing right now.
Because there's more money.
There's more money. To be honest about it, there's really more money about it. Okay, so they learn, and then may AI pa sila because it's very easy right now. Eh? Just go to ChatGPT. How do you write a script? Okay, so it's very easy right now. So when we go and do this awareness program, there's curriculum, and you put a layer of ethics on top of it, so you get to have the accountability of the people that we train. So that's how it goes.
Yeah, I think it's a great advice. Ethics should be embedded in the training. Go ahead, Sir Jude.
Yeah. On top of that, the fact is that the hackers are extremely more motivated now than ever.
Yeah.
Right? Because in the past, in the hacker community, right, they will need to have very skilled people to deploy. Now they don't need skilled people, they have AI hacker training for themselves, right? And self-learning embedded into it. So the scale and automation of the attacks have grown significantly. I think 3 points from my perspective, right? One, as vendors and all our friends here, we look at embedding AI internally, as a group in core areas, right? How do you bring context to identities, right? How do you look at context to data? And last but not least, to lead from the folks from Fortinet, if I'm not mistaken, right, is actually enablement. We have not gone out there to look at AI and security enablement. I think that's going to be the next big shift, because that's the way you enable not just your technical folks, but also the general users, right, on cyber threats.
Thank you. Yes.
Pwede nga na, follow-up question.
All right.
If there's a hacking community, do you have an alliance that you share as common database or possible threats? And do you have what they call efforts to correlate with Interpol or cybersecurity alliances, and so on and so forth?
We can't answer that question. letting the cat out of the bag, but high level, yes. From a vendor perspective, we do share where it's appropriate.
All right. Go ahead, Joel, and then Marlet.
Hi.
And then
It
Rob.
was mentioned earlier that Singapore and in the UK, governments already have some sort of programs like education and awareness on AI. Do you think the Philippine government should do the same, say introduce some policies on awareness or education? Thank you.
Definitely, right? And if you see, there's the AI sovereign nation study done with it's called the Small Countries of Southeast Asia. You can search that document, and Philippines is already part of that. They have invested, and all these small countries are working with each other and learning from each other on building a sovereign AI nation. And the fundamentals of the small nation, the starting thing is self-education and learn from each other, change education system in the school, and and then help the workforce also adapt here, which also includes things like rebates and giving for subsidies for the local businesses to adopt AI. So it's in work in progress.
Two perspectives just to lead on to what Roshan said. Right? There tends to be an over-focus on AI in the Institute of Higher Learning segment. Right? AI needs to also be embedded into the high schools, right, and even in primary schools, where we start the AI concept with kids. Right? How AI can improve your day-to-day learning, how AI assists you in learning, how AI gets you to complete tasks in a faster manner. So that ethos needs to be driven down, right? Not necessarily at the Institute of Higher Learning, but generally at the primary school level and all the way to the secondary school level.
So
You're wrong. Okay, go ahead.
yeah, if I may add as okay, so if I may add as well in terms of the cybersecurity awareness, right? So, no matter how secure our defense, our cybersecurity posture is, there's always what we call the weakest link, right? Irregardless whatever system. And in the cybersecurity space, sad to say, the weakest link is us, is the human. And that's why cybersecurity awareness is very much important, especially for our employees, for those that are non-techies. So I guess you may have heard of the deepfakes that are coming in, the phishing, you may have heard of the particular bank that was hacked by just phishing or by using deepfakes. And I think from a Philippine perspective, our fintech companies are all also aggressive in pushing. You know, if you wanted to validate and check if the ones that you see on your video, on your messenger, you have to really call them up, not just using those messengers, whatever, right? You have to revalidate, double check, and making sure that the one that you're talking to is the real person behind those deepfakes.
Bob?
Yes, sir.
Go ahead, Bob. Go ahead.
Oh, hi. There. Okay, there has been talks about regulating AI, and I want to hear from each of the panelists, what is your take? Should the government of the Philippines regulate AI? And if you don't or do agree, what will be the best alternative or the best way for it to be established locally?
A tough question. Yes. Anyone from the, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, at least personally and also as a company, Dell, we believe in AI regulation, right? So it's like telling that, and it's not only within a country but also across countries, right? And it's like the whole nuclear program. Today, someone who has AI capabilities has actually invented the next atomic bomb, right? It's compared to that. So regulation has to be there. The other thing is from a business perspective, just if you look at enterprises, if you don't have regulation, everyone will build their own, AI. Let's say just everyone's creating a chatbot, and if my chatbot, I'm a bank, I'm a chatbot, and you ask a question, you're the customer, and what if my chatbot scolds you with, foul language, or does some discrimination? So if there's no regulation, you can't take me to court. And here, we have to seek customer loyalty, we have to seek customers first. So regulation is important, even at the nationwide and at individual country and corporation wide.
How about the rest? What's your
Totally agree.
I think it's very important now, especially with the upcoming elections. Yeah, there has to be regulation. Yes,
We have it in Europe now, so I think it was released in August. It was fairly quick to come to pass. We talked about threats earlier, and we were talking really about external threats, right? People using AI-generated threats, but some of the threats can also come from within the organisation and how we use AI. And I think that's where regulation is really important, so that when we're building AI models and we're setting our own company acceptable use policies, that we need to abide by some kind of regulation. We need some guidelines, right? We need some swim lanes. And there was some certain high-profile cases in the UK and in Europe where AI was misused. And that's right, without regulation, if a company or individuals face some kind of loss, it's very difficult to take that to court, and that's been definitely a sore point, right? So AI can be used in malicious ways, that affect people's lives or company assets. So we do need regulation, otherwise we're not going to be able to protect our people and also our assets.
Ram, go ahead.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, if I may add as well, like in terms of the AI regulation, as what Uncle Ben had mentioned, great power comes with great responsibility. So I think we all know that, right? And for AI, this is something I would say it's a massive adoption, right? It was, if you take a look at it, AI was just introduced way back last year, if I'm not mistaken, 2023. In fact, the adoption is so massive. It actually beats the adoption of the internet in the late 1990s, and as per statistics now. So I think the AI is there, the adoption is there, but I think for us to be able to harness the power of AI, it should come with regulations. And as what my friend Simon had mentioned, we need to make sure that ethics, the business risks, and I think if these are not regulated, this will be a big impact for us. Because AI has a huge potential, but it went to the wrong hands, and if it's misused properly, we don't know what happens next. It's just me.
Ram? Sorry.
Alright, slightly dissenting opinion on this, alright? So I'm a big believer on free enterprise, okay? Because they try to regulate Facebook and Google for the longest time. Okay, I think Bob's question is from the government perspective, regulating, right? So if it is in the use of perpetuating a crime, then yes. But I am more inclined for self-regulation, meaning the industry trying to regulate itself, okay? Rather than having strict laws, because you will tamper creativity and progress, okay? Of course, there's the danger of it. So if you can balance it in terms of having the industry regulate itself, rather than having a strong arm from the government regulate.
But do we have a governing body, that's in charge of making sure that these processes are strictly followed? Do we have it in the Philippines? Is there a governing body? I believe other countries have not. Yeah, because I read that in other countries they really have this governing body wherein they are able to assess and ensure that all these processes are strictly followed. But I don't think we have it in the Philippines. Let's make it more difficult.
But we must also realize AI adoptions, while there's a big growth, the governance around AI is in infancy, right? There'll be many trials and errors, right? And I tend to agree that over-regulating it, right, is going to defeat the purpose, right? But we need to put some guardrails, but the guardrails cannot be permanent, right? It's constantly evolving because AI is an evolving technology, right? So with the laws and regulations around AI, we got to constantly monitor, evaluate, and make augmented changes as part of the regulation. I think that would probably be a sound adoption.
Right. Ram, please, let's proceed with the next question.
Okay, so I want to ask, I just like to take a step back from where we are heading with AI, that topic. Businesses are in varying stages in AI adoption and maturity. So for businesses who are in the early stages, they might be curious as to how each of your organizations built AI literacy to ensure a resilient ecosystem. What approach did you implement and how did they differ across the strategic layer with your executive leadership and governance teams, your application layer with mid-level managers and business practitioners, your execution or technical teams, and your support layers, which is your foundational teams? How did they differ? What were your practices? So they can, so you can provide a model for them. Thank you.
Enar, would you like to answer?
Can I ask for a repeat of the question? It's pretty long.
Yeah.
Answer for AI literacy.
Actually, for example, in our organization, right, definitely it's a global approach. Right? We do have a global approach to things. So the benefit of that is it's whatever was implemented well in the other countries, right? We can definitely adopt it from a trickle down perspective. Our perspective of AI education is that obviously you take a look at it from a strategic layer, okay? And then of course take a look at it from a customer-centric layer, right? Because we're definitely our lifeblood is the customer, right? So we get what we think is the customer's perspective on it, right? And then we educate based on that. Okay? I think that's the most effective way of seeing things. Definitely, all strategy follows what the customer really wants to go into. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you. Marla.
Actually, my key takeaway from all the talks is that to better implement AI, we have to have the right AI infrastructure. And currently, Gartner's AI hype cycle is on AI engineering. So my question is, how do you future-proof your infrastructure so organizations can keep up with that hype cycle without incurring additional costs?
It's a big challenge.
Yes. Actually, my response to that is proper planning. Right? To be able to go into this AI project or whatever project it is, right? It should come from a proper planning perspective. The most important thing here is to establish what is your goal. Right? If you have this goal, definitely everything can easily align to that. Okay. Yeah. But from an HPE perspective in terms of infrastructure investments, right? As I've told people the panel earlier, we have to get our data in order. Right? We have to really drive to get that data in order because however strategy you want to go into AI is really being driven by proper data structures, right? Proper data management and so on. From a business protection perspective, from an investment protection perspective, another thing is, of course, take a look at how you can harness AI to be able to have resiliency, right, in your business process, resiliency in your operations. I think that's where we can really harness the investment properly. Yeah, thank you.
Ram, go ahead. You have a question, Ram? Okay. Mark.
All right. Just regarding doing business here in the Philippines, how do you differentiate your approach to the Philippine market versus other ASEAN countries, especially in terms of when you consider our regulations as well as our infrastructure in tech, and finally our AI readiness? Do you encounter any challenges that you wish perhaps that the government would help you on?
I think anyone can answer that.
Yeah, so in Dell we are pleasantly surprised. Even mature markets for us like Singapore, Australia, Japan, they are still very conscious when they are adapting certain technology, right? Here at least the will is there. Like for example, we have sold our first lakehouse product across APJ and China. The first is in Manila, right? Because that customer understood the need to do data management before doing AI, right? And they jumped from, they were just trying to transform their existing data warehouse. We went and spoke to them and told them why warehouse is a dying thing. You need to go to a lake house, and then they built it, right? And this is what happens. And then I have complex use cases in, for example, in Cambodia, right? In a lot of emerging markets. So I'm not calling Philippines as an emerging market. You're still you're much more than an emerging market. But then if you go and we talk to the users here and they're willing to experiment, right? But here the other flip side is the large banks, the large telcos are still very traditional. it's difficult to actually get them to move. But there are some other traditional businesses which are very quick and they are, so both these things we see over here. And also, from last year, what I'm seeing personally in the market, the willingness to learn and try out new things, right? I'm seeing that improve so in the market. So that's very good.
Roshan, can you disclose which company? Are you inclined to
I'll see you at the bar.
Sure.
All right. Yeah, go ahead, Delvin.
Yeah. Cisco just announced the other day, or was it yesterday, that the AI readiness survey, which actually showed that the readiness of companies here in the Philippines actually came down from 22% from last year to just, I think, 17%. So despite the hype about the potential impact of AI to businesses and other industries, there seems to be a diminished enthusiasm, so to speak, about deploying AI. Can I just get a reaction on that?
I think it's probably just lack of clarity around the risks that AI may bring. I think it's not fully understood yet.
Mm-hmm.
I think we've still got a lot of education to do. I think lack of regulation as well, lack of control, ethics. All of these things can impact any kind of adoption, really. So maybe they're the things that we need to focus on, and maybe we'll see that adoption rate climb again.
Thank you. Yeah, if I may add, probably, though I haven't seen the Cisco presentation, probably my gut feel is that there was a big question during those presentations is that will AI replace my job? I think everybody gets that fear, right? So if AI is being implemented in any of the company, will I be secure? Will my job be still there? So that's why even if how much you push AI from that perspective, so if those people that are below, let's say the management level, they don't want to adopt it, chances are, of course, if your job is at stake, if your life is at stake, the ones that you're earning is at stake, I mean, that's a big question. I mean, me, if I'm working on the working level, if my job gets replaced, I will be pushing back with this kind of technology. I mean, from that perspective, no. So I think from us, it's all about educating the companies or the entrepreneur or the companies out there on what is the benefit that could go out of this AI. And I think at the end of the day, on any company, it's all about the business objective. At the end of the day, regardless what technology, what you adopt, it's all about the outcome. It's all about the results, all about the business objective. And that's why probably if my job's at stake, probably you could actually tell to the guys that, hey, you may get promoted, you may get to a different role rather than you staying like there for that particular job. You might get some different roles, right? And I think probably if I'm an owner of a company or if I'm a president of the company, if we're going to adopt AI, we have to ensure at least if there are jobs at stake, perhaps we can find some jobs for them at the end of the day. That would be, I would say, more enticing rather than routine tasks, probably elevate their positions. Because on that perspective, it's all about mindset, it's all about the safetyness coming from those employees. Because, at the end of the day, if this has not been properly communicated, this has not been properly, communicated to the people around, to the employees, there will be a lot of pushbacks. I mean, that's just my observation. Because I was able to talk to one customer because there was this AI adoption. But from the HQ, they're trying to push back. They're trying to push back. Imagine HQ, they don't want to adopt AI. Probably they were not able to educate what AI is, what's the benefit out of there, because I think it's all about the board discussion at the end of the day. To help communicate properly. If we're going to AI, there should be a proper communication. What's the objective, and at the end of the day, what's the results for the betterment of the company at the end of the day?
Thank you. Yes, Sir Alan.
I think the complexities are sinking in. Remember those days when almost all companies are rushing through, mag-ERP tayo, di ba? ERP implementation, or digital IT transformation, and then they find out that it's not that easy. That you will, see statistics that 6 out of 10 ERP projects are failing. So I think it's the same thing because as my colleagues have said, the AI is in the infancy stage. Nobody really gets it. How do we do an AI strategy? As Jobert said, ano ba yung benefit nito? Are we doing benefit realization? Are we getting what we're supposed to get from the AI? So when the complexity sets in, and then probably the interests are going down.
All right. Sorry. Apologies. I have to close the media briefing because we have another Bob will be our speaker in the panel presentation. But perhaps we can arrange exclusive interviews to further expound the questions raised by our reporters. Feel free